Welcome to this info webinar. We will start in just 1 minute, so a couple more people can enter the room before we start. But I'm happy that you could join us today. I see that several people are entering the room, so we'll just give it one more minute and then we'll start. Yes, now it seems like a lot of you who signed on have entered the room. So welcome everyone to this program launch, an info webinar about UN Global Compact Norway and our program offerings. My name is Grace Anne Stensrud, and I work as the head of programs and communications here at UN Global Compact Norway. And with me, I have several of my colleagues. Some of them you will meet during this webinar, and we'll introduce them as they'll share some information with you as we go along. So take a quick look at our program today. Many of you know Global Compact well, I have seen from the sign-up forms, but we will talk a little bit about UN Global Compact and our member offerings this spring, but also during the rest of the year. We will talk briefly also about the communication on progress that every member has to report on how they work with the 10 principles. Many of you know this from before. And as we go along, you can ask questions in the Q&A function that you can see up at the top, and we will answer the questions at the end. So I will give the word to Oda Bjerkan, which is CEO of the UN Global Compact Norway, and she'll talk a little bit about UN Global Compact first. So the floor is yours, Oda.
Thank you, Grace Anne. I assume that each of you has a different level of familiarity with us, so I will go through some of the most important and fundamental aspects of our organization. The UN Global Compact is the world's largest sustainability initiative for corporations with over 20,000 members across 160 countries and with more than 70 local offices and networks worldwide. I'm waiting for the slide to change. Launched in 2000 by then UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, the UN Global Compact was an open invitation from the UN to businesses to unite in a shared movement, driving collective solutions for the future. And among our funding members in Norway were Storebrand, Norsk Hydro, and Equinor, to mention a few. And 25 years later, our mission is more important and relevant than ever, as businesses face increasing pressure to abandon ESG commitments. Our role in upholding the 10 principles for responsible business practice and advocating for long-term sustainable growth remains essential. Our organization maintains a close relationship with the UN leadership and the global business sector. The UN Global Compact Board is chaired by the UN Secretary General and includes executives from some of the world's largest companies. Our CEO, Sanda Oyambo, previously served as head of the Safaricom, one of Africa's largest mobile and internet providers, and is today Assistant Secretary General of the UN as well. And as you maybe are very much aware of, the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact are structured around 4 key areas: human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption. And the 10 principles provides a stable right now and a globally recognized framework that helps companies navigate uncertainty, build resilience, and demonstrates that sustainability hopefully is not just a trend, but a key driver of economic success and corporate responsibility. And here you see all of them. And committing to these principles, we see as a strategic decision that strengthens both a company's ethical foundation, but also its competitive advantage. And by integrating them to business strategies, you both build trust with customers, investors, and stakeholders, while also mitigating risks and potentially unlocking new market opportunities. So by being a part of this initiative, you demonstrate a commitment not just to your own corporate success, but also to driving a meaningful change worldwide. And joining the UN Global Compact has proven benefits. In our annual membership survey globally, 81% of respondents report that their participation has helped advance their sustainability efforts, whether through capacity building, reporting, or knowledge sharing. And here in Norway, we have more than 360 members nationwide, and try and are committed to support all of these businesses that you represent and many more across the country. In addition to our headquarters in Oslo, we also have a local presence in Tromsø and Agder, where we have run projects funded by local savings banks foundations. And these initiatives have been focusing on mobilizing a broader spectrum of businesses, particularly SMEs, to drive sustainable impacts. And the Norwegian network has its own board of directors where members have the opportunity to influence the network's strategic direction. All member companies can nominate a board representative with elections held at the General Assembly each year in May this year, and you usually nominate in January. Currently, this is our companies that represents the board, which are outstanding professionals from the leading companies, and Lars Erik Lund from Veidekke is serving as chairman of this board of directors. And last, I want to say that at the core of our mission is bringing businesses together and facilitating collective actions for the SDGs. And that we do this by operating in line with the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact to promote responsible business practices. And the value of this membership and participation increases the more you engage. I therefore really want to encourage you all to take advantage of our many offerings and reach out to us if you think that you have needs that others might have as well, and that you believe should be addressed. We are an organization by and for our members, working together to take responsibility. And our most important tasks of all is to help you to succeed in the best way possible with upholding the 10 principles. So that's what I wanted to share with you, and then I'll give the word back to you, Brisanne.
Thank you so much, Oda. And that really is important, as you said, that this is a network that we want all the companies to participate, and we can cooperate on the membership offerings, which we will move on to now and talk about the opportunities that you have in the network now. But we keep in mind that we really want to cooperate with you, and you can participate in building the network together with us. So if you see any opportunities that you want to be involved in, please contact us, and we can talk about that. Here you see us who are responsible for developing and delivering the membership offerings. Me, myself, as the head of programs and communications, and my colleague Thomas, who's a program manager, and Emilia, who is an advisor, working both with communications and programs. And she's in the background here helping with the technical stuff, so she's doing a great job on the side here. But we're all here together now Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or want to cooperate, as I said, on membership offerings. For now, I want to introduce like the framework of the membership advantages that you have, and we'll talk about some specific programs that you can participate in that will come up this spring and also during the rest of the year for some of the things. So first of all, you get to connect with experts, with peers, with other companies who might have the same focus areas or challenges as yourself. And we really want to be able to provide arenas for you to network and learn from each other, both at the local level, as Oda mentioned, at the national level in the Nordics, and also at global levels. So we want to create opportunities for that for you. And second, we have Learn, where you get to gain knowledge and skills necessary to attain progress and results. So we do have a lot of competency building initiatives that you can participate in. And I want to mention that you can participate if you're interested, but also a lot of your colleagues has access to all of the for example, the Digital Academy. So there are opportunities to kind of like build competency within the company as well. So keep that in mind that we have those opportunities. We also have one advantage here, which is called Lead, that you can exhibit strong leadership and also inspire others by leading and showcasing how you worked with corporate sustainability within your company. We would have had a member participating in this specific webinar, as we usually do, but unfortunately we had a cancellation. But earlier this morning, we had Linda Sandnesmoen, who works in 24/7 office, and she was sharing about how the membership offerings have been beneficial for their work. Yeah, so we'll come back to that a bit later. And lastly, I wanted to mention Communicate, that you get to kind of like establish trust and credibility by showing your progress on working with the 10 principles through the communication on progress, which is the report that, or the reporting that every member has to do on the 10 principles. So you have to deliver that every year. But I've seen that most of you seem familiarized with this, and we'll come back to that at the end. Now let's see at some specifics when it comes to Connect, and I'll give the word to my colleague Thomas, who's a program manager. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Grayson. Yeah, so connecting our companies with other companies is a key ask that we get from our members, and one of the key benefits that we see from membership as well. And so we have network platforms where we do this in various guises, and we have them on the global arena, we have it on the national arenas, and on regional arenas. And we'll start with the globally. We have a Nordic conference for all our Nordic members in Helsinki this year. It's in the 2nd and 3rd of June. And we're also going to be present at the UN General Assembly in September. And of course, we'll have a presence both from the local networks, but also from the global network in Brazil at COP30, the climate summit in November. Nationally, we have a member conference and a general assembly for our local members in May, 19th of May. And we'll also have a presence at Arendals Week, as most of you will probably be present as well in August. And on the regional level, we have several different things. Upcoming is we have a Nordic Talk, which is a dilemma dialogue specifically related to AI in Greenland, specifically Skien, in early April. And then we have a regional project Om Sør in Agder, where my colleague Marianne here is in charge of that, which gathers companies and organizations in the Agder region. Next, please. So like I mentioned, the first thing that's coming up is our member conference. We're going to look at, we hear a lot about the backlash on ESG, and we're going to discuss whether there is we're stepping back from our commitments and our progress moving forward, and how can business navigate in these uncertain times. That's going to be the main focus of the conference, and we're going to hear from members, from experts, and other speakers to discuss this. And then, as mentioned, there will be a general assembly for the UN Global Compact Network Norway following that. as well. That's May 19th. And as well, the Nordic meeting, which I mentioned, which is in Helsinki, we are focusing on a just transition in a gender perspective. This will be in Helsinki in early June. There'll be about 100 companies from all over the Nordics present. The same setup. You will hear from speakers, from members sharing their experiences, and also key, you will be able to connect with them and exchange peer learnings at that event. That's what's coming up this spring. So back to you, Grace-Anna.
Yes, great. Thank you, Thomas. And when it comes to learning or gaining competency, we have some different areas to participate in there as well. I've written team-oriented peer exchange that we try to facilitate opportunities for you as member companies to meet each other and talk about specific themes that could be of interest for you. We had one peer exchange just before Christmas, which was called CSRD Peer Exchange, where a lot of members came together and talked about like different challenges when it comes to CSRD reporting. We have a lot of webinars, both at the global level and that we arrange locally here. We also have some competency programs, which are like over a few months, you participate in webinars and ask the expert sessions, and you also work on some key challenges that you have within your own company, so you can come like further in your own corporate sustainability work. So we've had a great feedback on that. We both have, it's about human rights, we have gender equality and climate ambition accelerators. So there are different kinds of accelerators, and I will mention one that has where you can sign up now later on. And we also have a digital academy, which I'll come back to. So I'll start jumping into some of the things that are coming up when it comes to learning opportunities. So here it's written in Norwegian, and the webinar is in Norwegian, but I wanted to inform you anyways. Maybe you can, some colleagues could participate. And this is a mini series, and the next webinar is going to be about Scope 3 when it comes to reducing emissions, working with your value chain. And we also will have some member companies. We'll have Kongsberg Maritime and Mack Bryggeri, who will share their experiences. Thomas, do you want to include something there? Yeah.
Yes, the main portion of this will be in Norwegian, but we do have the speaker from Kongsberg Group who will be speaking about how they deal with their suppliers specifically, and she will be speaking in English. So that is an opportunity to hear from her on that.
Yeah, great. Thank you for clarifying that. That's great. Yeah. So this is one opportunity, and we'll also have one mini-series and webinar on due diligence and how you can work with human rights due diligence in the value chain. And you can hear company examples there as well. So that's coming up the 9th of May. And we will also have some knowledge sharing, so people can share knowledge in groups there. And next here is a competency program on gender equality. So it's about assisting you in developing a comprehensive and sustainable strategy when it comes to gender equality. And the program, it lasts for about 6 months and starts up in September, but you can sign up for it now. And this is a totally English speaking program where you get to participate in webinars and also see on-demand e-learnings. And here we recommend, or I think you actually have to have 2 participants from each company who participates in this. And you also have to have an ambassador at the highest or at top level in the company who follows up with the ones working on or participating in the program. So if you're interested in hearing more about this, there will be an information webinar on the 23rd of April. So we'll send you all of this information later so that you can see what's interesting for you and sign up for the information webinar or the competency program if you're interested. Yeah, moving on to the academy, we do have this global academy, which is developed like e-learnings, on-demand sessions, webinars from experts. There are over 100 courses that you could participate in, and we do have 100,000 users in 140 countries. So it's kind of like a huge catalog of thematic themes. So it's all about like science-based targets, biodiversity, human rights due diligence, climate risk, equality, living wage, a lot of different teams, anti-corruption, that you can watch on demand on the platform. And we recently upgraded the Academy in February, so now it's brand new, and there are also some new offerings on there. Here you can see some of the new things that are coming up, like business integrity e-learning course or target setting and sustainable finance, different things that you can watch there. And I wanted to mention, like, it can be of interest for you individually, but also every employee at your company, when you're a member at UN Global Compact, they will have access to the Academy. So we do have like a catalog showing, or a guide, I would say, showing how you can help your colleagues get access to the Academy. And some people have expressed interest in actually using the Academy as a form of competency building internally. And you can also get like an overview of, when you're the administrator, to see like what has been watched within your company. So you can get like a report on that. But please keep in mind that everyone has access, so you can help them gain it if they want to look at the Academy. And part of the new platform is the new EU portal, which will be updated with updates on the regulations from the EU. And we do have webinars about the latest developments that are being held there. The last one was actually the 20th of March, so it has just been. But there are also some e-learnings from experts who has actually helped develop the regulations. So it's some interesting content on there. So you can go and have a look at that. And I want to mention also that the Academy, we have courses in 6 different languages. So it's English, but it's also several others as well. So there's a lot of content on there. And yeah, I'll give the word to Thomas.
Thank you very much. As companies that are already members of the UN Global Compact or considering that and signing up to our 10 principles, you are already showing leadership in the sustainability field and are committed to doing good things. And we want to showcase both the work that you do, but also use your expertise and your input in the work that we do, whether it's on the global level or the local level. And we do this in several different ways. One of the key ways is to gather leadership teams together. So we have CEO and CSO leadership roundtables and forums. We have a couple coming up this spring that I'll get back to. Like Oda mentioned in the beginning, you can help shape and influence how the UN Global Compact works in Norway by either becoming a member of the board. You can also join the selection committee that chooses board members. And as already mentioned, we have the member conference and general assembly in May. So those are good opportunities for you if you want to get actively involved and shape the membership that you're actually part of yourselves. And then with all the experience that is out there with our members, we want to use your experience both to showcase the work that you do towards other in your field, but also to help ensure that we have the best offering that is tailored to your needs. And we do that by using your experience in helping to shape our offerings. So we invite people to share their insights. We were going to have a company today. Unfortunately, they canceled, like Grayson has said. But we use them to help shape activities. Like we already mentioned in the webinars, we'll have members speak there and showcase their own work. And in the peer exchanges, you get to experience this as well. And we also have policy level engagement with enabling environments, which is key to support the sustainable transition. And the government has a top leader forum on the sustainable development goals, where there are 5 ministers and 8 organizations present, and we are one of the permanent members of the organization or of the forum, and we're able to bring in a CEO from one of our members to each meeting, and we've had several of those with great benefits for the company participating. So when those are announced through our newsletters, feel free to show your interest to participate there. And like I said, we also want you to use your input and your experience of where the issues are that needs to be raised on a policy level. So We will try and include members more in our policy development, and we want to use your input in hearing on consultations for Parliament and things like that as well. Next, please. Yeah, so the first thing that comes is this is a CSO gathering, and here we joined up with Hafslund, who's then helping us host and also shape the program. And this is an opportunity for CSOs to meet other CSOs, to learn from them, exchange best practice and experiences, and also network with them. And this is happening on the 3rd of April in the morning at Hafslund. And next, please. And then one of the last things we're doing before the summer break is we have a CSO gathering with the Minister for Climate and Environment, Eriksen. And this is for CEOs and top level top leaders only. We'll be discussing a little bit of the same topics as in the member conference. The uncertain times that we're in, instability, there's a backlash against ESG. We're going to discuss how that impacts Norwegian business, how we should strengthen our efforts towards keeping up the pressure to reach the sustainability goals, and then also how business and the public sector can and should work together to ensure this happening. Yes, and that's our offerings in this field before the summer. Back to you, Grace.
Great, thank you, Thomas. And I really want to mention it again that we're developing all these programs, but really we want to. This is a network, so please reach out to us if you want to cooperate on doing any of these things together with us, or if there are other opportunities that you want to explore. Then we're very open to discuss those with you. And I want to mention briefly a little bit about the fall program, that some of the plans that we have coming up. I can mention first that we will be having another program launch or information webinar about the fall program, and we'll have that in June. So then more things will be landed. But I just wanted to mention it briefly that we will have something called a sustainability leaders program, where sustainability leaders in that role who might have some of the same challenges that they're working with and some of the same experiences, they get to share through this program and also become more secure in the role as a sustainability leader within the company. And they also work with a specific project that they've decided that they want to work with during the duration of the program. So it lasts for 3 months, roughly 3 months. And there will be a sign up for that soon. And it will start up in September is the intention. Another thing is international events. So Thomas mentioned briefly Conference of the Parties, or the COP30, and the UN General Assembly, which is the first one is in Brazil and the other one is in New York. And we're working on what programming we could be offering there. So if you are going or want to know more about what we do there, please reach out to us. And we're also going to have a Nordic mini-series with some of our Nordic colleagues in the other Nordic networks. And the theme there is going to be science-based targets. So if you're working on that, then this program could really be of interest or beneficial for you. So that was just briefly about some of the things that we are planning for the fall, but there will be more. Then I want to mention the communication on progress, on how you can measure and demonstrate progress on the 10 principles. So as Oda mentioned, you saw the 10 principles, and every member company who is a participant in Global Compact has to report on your work with implementing the 10 principles in your operations. And the communication on progress is the way to do that. And I want to mention that, Global Compact, it's not a certification arrangement for a company but we kind of use the principle of transparency about being open and responsible. And so what you enter into the communication progress, it will be open and available for the public. So that is something that we use instead. So we're not a certification organization in that way. I think a lot of you know the communication on progress from before, but it's about illustrating the company's advancements in adhering to the 10 principles. And a couple of years ago, we introduced this questionnaire. So before people you could send in kind of like a report, but now we want you to fill in a questionnaire with questions. And we've gotten some feedback on the questionnaires, so it has been improved, and we have limited the amount of questions a little bit to be more tailored towards companies' needs. But you can actually this year either deliver the questionnaire or you could deliver a report, a sustainability report, but then you have to explicitly state that what parts are about the 10 principles and is written towards that. So you can do either or this year. The submission deadline is July 31st, and the dashboard that you deliver the COP or communication progress through is open. It opens on the 1st of April, which is just next week. So it's opening soon. So you'll have time to fill it out. And the COP is really a way for you to build credibility and brand value by showing your commitment to the 10 principles and the Sustainable Development Goals, and also measure and demonstrate progress to stakeholders and the public on the 10 principles and the Sustainable Development Goals in a consistent and harmonized way. I just mentioned this briefly, but really the steps into it is that you have to have a statement from the CEO, and this about the ongoing commitment to the UN Global Compact and the 10 principles. And this you deliver through the dashboard. If you're a contact point towards Global Compact, then you know about the dashboard and where you deliver the statement. And also either you complete the digital questionnaire or you deliver the sustainability report there. There will be a lot of resources available for you. So there will be held global information meetings about the communication progress. The next one is scheduled the 2nd of April. We will be sending you this presentation and also all the dates and the sign-up forms for you to access this. There is also this guidebook on the COP. I see there's a typo here. It's the communication progress, not the conference of the parties. And then there's also this Q&A resource that you can use. So we will be sending you all of this. And please, if you have any questions about the communication progress, please contact us. This year, we also released this data visualization tool. So for everyone who has delivered the questionnaire, there are a lot of questions there, and therefore we can kind of like compare how your company has done it against national level, other countries, and also in total of all the participants in Global Compact. So it's really like an aggregated sustainability data bank that you can look at. And we've actually had some members who have said that I'm going to use this towards the board to show kind of what we do, but showing it against, kind of like comparing it against what others do when it comes to sustainability in the different areas. So it's structured into governance, human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption. And yeah, so you can have a look at that. If you've delivered the COP as a questionnaire, you'll have access to it from last year's numbers. And the value here is really to understand your own sustainability data, but also, as I mentioned, evaluation against others on this tool. And then I wanted to briefly mention, we've said that we had a cancellation, so we haven't had a company to come in and talk about membership. But this is Linda Sandnesmoen. She's head of sustainability in 24/7 office. And in the morning webinar where we talked about the membership offerings, she was there, and I thought it was really interesting. She had participated in the Sustainability Leaders Program, and she mentioned that they actually had the project that she worked on. She had ended up having workshops or webinars for SMEs to increase their competency. And then they also had this climate accounting tool. So it kind of like supported their operations and what they normally do, which I thought was really very interesting, and that she developed through attending the Sustainability Leaders Program. So that was really interesting. So if you want to, and if you're able to, you could go back and watch the recording from that, because we will be adding that in the follow-up email after this webinar. Moving on how to stay updated, we are sending out a newsletter once a month, and we also have some invitations that we send out apart from the newsletter to specific events. And some of our events have limited places. So please, if you want to secure a spot, you should pay attention to when the information comes out so that you can participate. And we also have started using LinkedIn a bit to be able to reach further with our content. So you can see a lot of the webinars and the competency building activities we will be posting there, but not everything, because some things are only for members. So you'll have to read the newsletter to really get the information. And I would assume that most of you who are here might be contact points for the membership in Global Compact. And then you'll maybe be the only one receiving information from us within your company. So please feel free to forward the information towards other colleagues that the information might be relevant for. And we can also add them to the newsletter list. But then you know that you can take a responsibility for actually using or take advantage of the membership offerings that we have. We're really running, I think we've done this before, Thomas, because now we're moving so quickly. But I think I see that there have come some questions in the Q&A function. So please continue to use that, and we'll take some time now to actually answer some of the questions, if anything has come in. No, not yet. But feel free now to use the Q&A function if you have any questions, and then we will answer them now. Is there anything that, while we're waiting for questions, please feel free to write them. Maybe is there something that we've forgotten to add that any of my colleagues want us to, should be included here in what we've said so far? Or have we covered it all? I could say that there are a lot of other offerings as well that we have. So now we've tried to narrow it down to what we will specifically offer this spring, and also a little bit about like what comes during the fall. But there are also like so many other offerings. So if there's some areas, thematic areas or programs that you were wondering more about, please contact us, and then we can tell you more about it and discuss what could be interesting for you to participate in, really. Feel free to contact us. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat or in the Q&A, I mean, but feel free to write it if you have any, or else I want to continue on to showing here. Please feel free to reach out to us, especially as if it comes to membership offerings that you want to discuss. You could reach us at medlem@globalcompact.no. And I also wanted to mention that we have some colleagues who are placed out in the regions. And so here you see Lotte and Marianne, who are regional managers, and also Truls, who is head of membership, that you could reach out to if you have any questions. Yeah. I haven't seen any questions coming in the chat.
There is a question now, Grace Anna.
Is it? Okay. In the Q&A?
Yeah.
Here, now, yeah, I haven't seen it. Regarding the COP, will we get qualitative feedback on the alignment of our own sustainability reports to the 10 principles? That is a really good question. But actually, no. We do have, I think it's around 20,000 company members around the world. And we, as I mentioned, we really have this transparency that others can see what you do, but we don't go specifically into each report and look at your progress. We don't. So it's really this principle of transparency that counts here. So we don't go into the specific reports. Yeah. But it's a good question, really. And now I see, yeah, okay, that answered it. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for the question. And are there any more questions, or else we could end early if there are no more? I think maybe we'll end it there, but please feel free to send us, I can put the Medlem email account here so that you can send us a message if you have any questions. Please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you so much for participating this afternoon. It was great having you with us. But let's end it there if there aren't any more questions. Bye. Have a good day.